Welcome to the Meet the Leader podcast with Sam and Colin. This is a TNLC podcast that requires little to no brain cells.
So put down that TNLC pen that you probably forgot to return and instead open a nice can of Shut the Front Door, because we are about to introduce you to some TNLC leaders like this lovely person here, like never before.
Never before.
What's going on, TNLC fam? We're so glad you're turning into this podcast segment where we interview some of your favorite TNLC leaders. Remember, this is a time where you don't need to worry about notes or pen or paper or really anything for that matter.
That's right, because we've got you covered. We will do all the hard work. We just need you to stay awake. That's it. So without further ado, let's introduce our mystery guest for the day. Carly, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everybody.
This is Carly Schrader. She serves here as the
New Life Kids Director.
And she's killing it week in, week out. And so really happy to have Carly on the podcast. So you already talked about what you do here at TNLC. So give us a little bit bigger of a picture of an understanding of what that all entails.
So I am responsible for making sure that other people are responsible for our kids program. But yes, so I direct people to run our nursery through 5th grade kids programs and coordinate curriculum and events and all that good stuff.
All the stuff.
All the stuff.
All the things.
All the things.
Absolutely. So how long have you been in Florida? Did you grow up here, or did you move in, or what's that? Talk us through your early
Did you
life.
just move into Florida? Moved on in.
No, I am a Florida cracker, born and raised. Yeah, there's not many of us. Although I feel like we're re-evolving. Like there's more Florida crackers that are coming back or that are staying. So
I mean, I've been here,
yeah,
born and raised. I'm also a Florida.
Well,
cracker.
there used to be a time where you would ask people and everybody's answer was, I'm from New
Michigan.
York. I'm from somewhere else. And now I feel like there's more and more people who are from Florida.
So how long have you been at TNLC?
Since the second service.
Was that
we ever
in
had.
Clayton and Kelly's living room? Or
No, that was at the YMCA.
the YMCA?
Yes, where it looked like there were 100 of us because we had mirrors on the sides.
Yeah,
It was fun.
decent strategy.
Yeah.
Decent strategy. Does not great for the long haul, ultimately.
No, it was good when we were able to move out of that.
What
So-
brought you there at the beginning?
So funny enough, what brought me there was we were looking for a dynamic
I'm gonna
kids
pause.
ministry.
I'm going to stop you right there real quick, because I just want to bring up something. Last podcast, I was made fun of
for saying
for the
funny.
phrase
okay.
"funnily enough."
Oh, I didn't say funnily
I know.
enough.
I understand.
No,
I said
Colin just
funnily
needed
enough.
to interject this because
And I just want to shout out Mariah, because she had my back. She emailed in. She did some research, and she proved that funnily enough is actually a correct phrase. So just saying, for all you haters out there, funnily enough, all you Colin haters, funnily enough is a correct phrase. I believe funny enough is also, but just saying, just I
Okay,
just
well,
wanna
to make you feel
that
good,
clear.
funnily enough,
Thank you.
we were looking for a church with a dynamic, great kids program, and and
You came and you were like, nope.
well, no, we
Okay, good.
came.
That's good.
And it actually worked out well for us because it was very small, and that's what at the time our daughter needed, and we
Was
didn't
there
know
a
until
kids
after
program
we
at
tried.
all back then?
So there was.
it was just Skylar. It was Skylar.
Kelly Bell was running it, and well, it was Skylar and Sawyer was
Okay.
a baby,
Right.
and then the Sheffield,
Right.
Samantha Sheffield, Caroline Bell,
Mm-hmm.
and
Little Caroline, little
oh
Samantha.
my gosh, they were so little and cute. I mean, they're still cute, but now they're just big
Just
and
larger.
grown. But yeah, so there was, and we had this nasty couch back there. Yeah.
In the kids program?
Ooh.
Yeah, because the kids were meeting in the youth room at the Y, like where the kids would come after school.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And so like they had this couch and we were constantly like trying to cover it and
Mm-hmm.
move it away from babies and stuff. But yeah, it actually worked out. And, you know, in retrospect, you look back and you see how God was working through all of that. And that's what my daughter needed.
So second ever official service or like launch service, to when you, like, what was the evolution from that to you being the kids director?
So I started serving pretty quickly in the kids ministry, and I think once Kelly found out I was a teacher, it was kind of like, well, then this is where you need to be. But I really had always felt called to serve in kids ministry, and then it wasn't until we had already transitioned to the to Trinity Elementary. And at that point, we were growing, and Kelly needed to be available for other areas of the church and to assist Clayton more and things. And so, yeah, they had come over for dinner and.
So you are OG then, as far as New Life Kids directors go. Like other than Kelly, because
yes.
you know that's just what happens when there's a new church plant. Like there was no one before you.
No.
Wow.
But Kelly did
Sticking
lay
it
the
out.
groundwork. She did a
Of
good
course,
job.
of course,
Yeah.
of course. But that, I mean, that's a great tenure right there. Like, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
there were multiple, I think, people before me that were in charge of running whatever the youth program was at that time. And so I can't say I'm OG.
Yeah.
But Carla,
Yeah, it's definitely been exciting because I'm learning and growing as the program is learning and growing. But what's most exciting is that then it makes it a little bit easier for us to make it TNLC, to
Right.
make it New Life Kids, and not this is what other people do. So we've been able to grow it as TNLC, New Life Kids, not as somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was
something
right
else.
now you're doing this full time, but there was a time when you were juggling multiple things. Can you tell us a little
Yes.
bit about that?
You're a juggler?
So I am a juggler.
I did not
Still
know
a
that.
juggler. I mean, I have 4 kids. You kind of
Right.
have to in 4
You
different
juggle
schools.
your kids?
I juggle their schedules.
Their
Sorry,
transportation.
these
Their
are all really bad
transportation.
jokes for me. I was,
Until
if
you
it
become
wasn't
a
clear,
parent.
I was
Anyway.
talking very literal juggling. So
Actually, I've tried that, and I'm not very good at all. Like multiple
same.
times.
I can't
tried
juggle.
It. No, it's horrible.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
You can't.
And it's just frustrating. But anyways, yeah, I was a teacher in Pasco County schools for a while, and then I went to First Christian Academy for a couple of years. Loved teaching. Still substitute every once in a while, and it just got to the point where we were growing exponentially, and
The church was.
the
you mean?
church,
Okay.
yes, and New Life Kids in general, because you know everybody has to have babies
Right.
every day, and
Apparently.
yeah, and so it was one of those things where I couldn't do 2 full-time jobs anymore and be there for my
Right.
family. So the Clayton and Kelly had decided that it was time to hire a full-time kids director.
Yeah.
So I applied and got the job.
When was that?
Um,
Like, how long have you been full-time paid staff TLC as kids director?
maybe close to 5 years. No, maybe
Oh wow, that long?
4 years.
Oh.
4 years.
Were you doing it in a part-time paid staff before, or was it just like it was basically part-time
Part-time is
volunteer?
very loose. It was very full-time. That's why it was
Right,
so
yeah,
hard.
exactly.
Probably for about 2 years before that. But I've been the kids director for a total, how long have we been around? 10, almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So almost 8 years.
Wow.
That's
So you
awesome.
talked about juggling your kids, not literally, Colin, but just their schedules.
Can't say I
and
won't try it.
Things.
You might not want to with my kids, 2 of them. Are very
So tell
muscular.
us about your family. Tell us a little bit more about your kids, your husband,
Yeah, so I'm
your
married
farm.
to...
Your pig.
Yes. Oh, I love him. I'm married to Jeremy Schrader. Almost. So in November, we will celebrate 18 years
Wow.
And-
Congratulations.
of marriage.
Wow.
We will have been
What
together
else?
for 21 years.
That is
Oh,
what
okay,
I was
fair
getting at. Thank
yes.
you.
We started dating our sophomore year in college. And
College sweethearts.
Yes. So maybe 22 years. Yeah. Gosh, we're old. Okay. And then we have 4 kids. Skylar is 16, going to be 17 in January.
Crazy.
That's really crazy.
She's driving it.
She is driving.
Does she have a permit?
She has a permit. Yes. It's amazing to me how many kids nowadays, like, they want to drive, but they don't really want to drive.
I'm shocked by it. I
Me
felt like
too.
in high school, everybody, like, once you were legal to drive, like, everybody drove, everybody had a car.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
it's not so
I
much
could
like
not.
that.
I could not wait.
That's
until,
how I
like,
was.
Is it a
I was
Florida
so
thing
excited.
or it's a generational thing at
I
this
don't know.
point?
I think it's a generational thing.
Okay.
I think that they just are content being, at home. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that, like Jeremy and I actually were talking about this earlier. When we were younger, on a Friday night or Saturday night, we used to go to the mall. Like, we were always at the mall, or out somewhere
Right.
with our friends doing something. And I think that's why it was so important for us to drive, because if you were dependent on your parents to
Right.
do that, then you didn't get to go, right? And so now, though, it's kind of sad to me because all of the interaction happens on their phones, and so
That's
they don't
interesting.
have a desire or a need. I mean, every once in a while it's like, oh, can I go to somebody's house and spend the night? But
Right.
that's it. Like, they don't have this,
because they feel connected in other ways.
through technology. And so, there's kind of a
So whereas
sadness
our
about
parents
it.
were probably like,
Get
"Why are you
out.
going out so often?"
Bye.
Yeah.
You were probably more like, "Get
out.
go
Yes,
away.
yes,
I don't
yes,
want
yes.
you here anymore."
Yes. I think sometimes, for Skylar, for instance, goes to her friend's house for multiple nights, or she has friends come over for multiple nights. And I think sometimes parents are like, well, how could you let her go? And I'm like, I did it. Like, that's
Right.
what we wanted to do. Like, it wasn't about being away from home. It was just you were with your peers and your
Right.
friends out away from home and
Yeah.
doing things. And so, I absolutely want to encourage that more, because it's kind of sad. But she's not my only one. So
Moving on. Okay.
but yes, and then I have Sawyer, who is 12, in the 8th grade.
Captain of the football team.
Yes, yes, and he loves football, is infatuated with football, knows everything there is to know. So, if you ever have questions, ask him.
Ask for that.
And then I have Saxton, who is our Tasmanian devil. Just always going, always talking. And
How old is
he
he?
is 7.
Okay.
He will be 8 in January. And then we have our little peanut Sailor, who was our surprise. You're going to have 4. But of course, now we could never
Right.
picture life without her, because she is just joyful. Well,
Yes.
I can't say all the time anymore, but she's
How old is
definitely
she?
going
Well,
through her four-nager stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she brings a lot of joy to others,
yes.
even though maybe the joy isn't expressly coming from her.
Oh, right.
So,
Oh, yeah. She's very funny. Yes.
yeah.
She's very
sassy,
sarcastic
for
and
sure.
sassy. And
Yeah.
yes, we have to rein her in often. Yeah.
So what's it like having 4 kids at 4 different schools?
Oh, it's actually, I have to say it's been a little bit easier than I thought it would be, only because I got ahead of it, I think. And because I was so scared of it, and made sure that, like, I had my calendar synced and
Right.
made my bulleted list of times and who is where and what time. And it takes a lot of communication. Sometimes that's the trickiest part, as far as between Jeremy and I, of like who's
Right.
picking up who and who's going to be at home at this time when so-and-so gets dropped off and stuff. The other thing that helps is 3 of them ride the bus now.
Oh, okay.
When they can, because of extracurricular activities like ROTC and football and stuff.
Right.
We still have to pick them up a lot, but that helps, especially in the mornings.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not.
Good.
I mean, fundraisers are horrible. As a teacher, I was like, okay, guys, let's do this fundraiser. It's going to help us raise money. And now I'm like, as a parent with 4 kids doing 4 fundraisers, this is awful. Hate it. There's
why?
got to be a better way to raise money for our schools.
So-
Why?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have 4 kids, so I
Because,
don't.
well, first of all, when you get the fundraiser packet, something
So it's
costs
like
like
they're
$21
selling
that you
something-
could buy at the Dollar Tree.
Right.
Okay.
And it breaks like the second you get it. The kids are encouraged with like like Saxton's, for instance, this year is like these charms, these little animal charms. And so if he sells like 25 items, he can get this animal charm.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like nowadays they even go as far as like, and you can get extra prizes if you register online and you send this many emails and so it's like you're constantly bombarding people. And with 4 kids doing that, it becomes a lot. And I can't do it anymore. And so, like I try to support the schools in other ways.
Yeah, I remember bringing those like packets home.
Yeah.
And I never did it. I never had any desire to be like, I would look through like, oh, what are the prizes I can get? And like for a day, I'd be like, sweet, let's do this. And then after that, which should have told me something when I started to actually move into a sales position in my later life, because
how'd that work?
That didn't go well.
We are.
That was maybe a little bit of a catalyst for me taking the administrative position at TNLC, which, as we also know,
how'd that work?
not so great, but better than sales. Well, let's kind of let's take a little vacation from work stuff.
Okay.
What do you do outside of work for fun with your family?
Speaking of
to
fun,
get alone?
Razors.
Fun.
Fun.
We're gonna raise the fun.
Fun.
So we,
in all your free time.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of that. We go to football games. We go to ROTC events. We like to go to Busch Gardens together.
Mm-hmm.
We have season passes for that.
Are you a big roller coaster person?
I used to be, and I think the older I get, the worse it is. Because we went on the new one at Busch Gardens. I don't remember what it's called, but it was horrible. It like spun and twisted and all of that stuff, and it was not good. Not good. And I used to love them, and I probably still will go on them, but yeah. And we just hang out, watch movies.
So that's more how you relax, is just having the downtime like that, where you are watching a movie or something like that, or
and most of the time I like to be out of the house to do that, because if I'm at the house, I see all the things that need to get done that also don't get done because I don't have time. So yeah.
Fair enough.
Do you have a crazy story? Crazy. Okay, this is how we've been phrasing it. Crazy or embarrassing.
Okay, so I do kind of have. So this is from when I was in high school.
Or crazy embarrassing.
Is that okay if I go that far back?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you can go to in the womb if you need to.
Well, I'm not sure I remember that. But
all these
Kelly went to
swimming
elementary.
Yeah, she did. And oh man, that was a rough one, by the way. Kelly Bell. Just throwback. I'm still sorry for you.
Yeah.
Okay, high school.
So
Carly in high school.
I went to high school in Tennessee. Went to a boarding school, and we decided one night we were staying at the president's house. His daughter and I were friends, and so there were about
the
4
president of the school.
Okay. Yes.
Clarity is
scary, because I was like, you were friends with who was the president when you were in high school?
Bush.
People know that
Bush.
answer. Like I wouldn't even know how to know
old
that
Bush.
answer.
Yeah. So
you knew George? No, anyway.
So so we were all staying there, and it was a 2-story, really nice house and everything, and we thought we would be cool and sneak out, and because that was the thing to do at a Christian private school. And gosh, if any of them hear this, we're gonna be in trouble. Sorry, Mr. Bean.
I think you're okay now.
I'm sure Jamie has told him too, so it's okay.
You're gonna get a letter in the mail, be like, please report to Tennessee for detention next week.
Actually, I might get a couple demerits. But no, so we decided to sneak out. So we crawled out her window. And
on the second story,
story, and then jumped down,
right.
Oh, no.
Which was fine. That ended up okay. So then there was this old, what we thought was abandoned cabin in a huge cow field at one point. And so we went to this cabin, and we opened it, and we started looking around. I think we might have had one small flashlight or whatever. And so all of a sudden we hear gunshots, and we're we're freaking out. We're like, what is that? And then
a lot of them, rapidly,
no,
repeatedly?
Two, about maybe 2. It wasn't an automatic rifle or anything, but 2 guns. We were in the country, so everybody had guns. And we hear, so we're like frozen and looking around, looking at each other. And then all of a sudden we hear another gunshot and we're like, who's on my property? Like this, old raspy country voice. And we freak out. We start running out of this cabin through the cow pasture. And all of a sudden we fall into,
No.
well, it was
No.
a pondish thing.
Oh, okay.
I was going somewhere else.
Well, there was a lot of cow
Oh.
manure in it. Yeah, we did not smell very nice after that. So we fell into that, and then we run back, right? We get to the house. Here we are covered in just muck
How
and
many people?
cow manure.
How many people was this total? Do you think?
About 4 or 5 of
Okay.
us. Yeah. I mean, I know 4 for sure. I can't remember exactly. And we get back to the house and realize that we weren't very smart because we had no way to,
Right. The door is locked.
yeah, and we couldn't climb
Yeah.
up to the second floor. So we had to ring the bell. And so actually, Mr. Bean and his wife did know that we did that.
I would have loved to be Mr. Bean, to like open the door and there's 4 or 5
Good
like
evening.
poop covered.
Well,
high school
thankfully, like we weren't out
girls.
doing bad things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that was the good part.
Well, it depends what perspective, because the old cabin,
yeah, it was
old
very
cabin
bad.
Well,
man
apparently
was
we were
very-
trespassing, yes. And we did have to, like, he did make us go back and apologize. And we actually walked back through the same field so we could see what we fell in. That's when we realized, like, oh, yeah, no, it was not really a pond. It was just,
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah.
wet manure.
What did that person live there? The man?
So he
Or-
didn't live in that shack. He
Okay.
lived in the house, like,
Gotcha.
down there. But how he knew we were there, like, I mean, it was not close.
Yeah.
So he must have had, like,
How long did it
Senses.
take you to get the smell fully removed from your presence?
it was horrible. It was horrible. I don't even remember how long it took. But it was like,
Gross.
yeah, it was bad. But the really bad thing is like we could have just walked out of the house. Like we probably could have told him like, "Hey, we're going to go for a walk." But we were trying to be like the
Sneaky.
rebellious sneaky teenagers. Yeah.
Hey, we're just gonna go dive into some cow poop. So we'll be back later.
Yeah.
Let us in, please.
Yeah. So that was kind of embarrassing, yeah.
That's a good one. It's crazy and embarrassing.
I would
Checks all the
say
boxes.
that is in fact crazy embarrassing.
Yeah.
Thanks, Colin.
Next
for
question.
And
If you could hire anybody to help you at home, I know you said you don't necessarily love relaxing at home because
or to do anything, homework or any sphere of
oh,
life.
it would just be somebody to come and clean my house.
Mm.
Yeah. I actually
Very
like doing
practical.
dishes and laundry. Like to me, that's kind of relaxing. I think it's because you see the chaos and then you see it
Right.
cleaned and organized. But everything else, like, and I know like people are like, you have 4 kids, like make them clean, and we do, and they do chores and things, but it's just so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love somebody just to come in once a week and sweep and mop and dust.
I would too, and I don't have any kids. My wife would probably say I am the equivalent of a kid.
Of 4
So-
kids.
Yeah, probably. So, all right, what's your most unusual talent? Or
Well,
what's
I
something
can't
that
juggle.
You can, right. My talent is
So-
not being able to juggle. Or something that you can
I-
do that maybe would surprise people.
Yeah. I know how to cross stitch.
What?
I don't know if that matters. I mean that. I
What
Colin
is-
doesn't even know what cross stitching
Yeah, what
is. I'm assuming.
exactly? It's some form of like knitting.
No, I actually have tried to knit, and it's not easy for me.
You're thinking along the same lines.
Yeah, so
sort
you
of,
get
Colin.
this-
Yeah,
you get
you're working
this-
with fabric, and you're
Right.
You're,
Yeah, you get this
know,
special
doing
fabric, and you take
designs.
string and a needle, and you make X's.
So a needle pulling thread.
Uh-huh.
That's in a song. Okay.
Is it the
Yep.
one that typically has like the
like a picture
like,
on it, and
or like the wood bracket around it?
yes, I've
Okay.
done that.
Okay.
Yep, where you can put it in one of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know.
So I've done that. But
do you do that
yeah.
often?
no, because so I really actually enjoy it because it's quite relaxing. And I've
I
purchased
still don't see
a
how
couple.
it's different from knitting.
Oh, it's completely different from knitting. We'll have to
Okay.
show you.
I'll just take your word for it.
Yeah, yeah. And Shale is probably
I was
going to want
gonna
to
say,
smack you now.
Shale knits, so
Yeah.
it's not. You're not using yarn.
No, you're using string. It's completely different. I'll have to show you, but I haven't done it.
I don't see the difference between yarn and string. So.
Thread. Do you know what thread is?
Thread.
Yeah,
That's what you're
so
using
needle
is thread.
pulling thread.
Yes.
I just said that, guys.
Yes, you're using
You're
thread
using
instead
thread
of yarn.
instead of yarn.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Got it.
And you're making X's to form a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so you're already there's already like some sort of blank canvas or something that you're.
Yes.
Yes.
So you're drawing. It's drawing with
thread.
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 Sure.
Okay, thread
Kinda,
drawing.
yeah.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it. So cross stitching is thread drawing. Got it. Okay, we're good to go.
So yeah. So but I haven't done it in so long because again, like it's one of those things. I don't do well starting something and not knowing that I'll have time to finish it,
Right.
and so instead I just don't start it.
Right.
And that's kind of where I am with that because my mother-in-law actually taught me to do it before I even married Jeremy, and it was one of those things where I was like, oh, this is only for old people and I'll never like it, and it was actually very relaxing, and I liked it.
We did latch hooks as a
Oh
kid.
yes,
Do you
totally
remember
did latch
those?
hook.
Yeah.
Yep.
Colin, we won't even get into that. That's
Yeah.
I didn't
Whole
even
other
honestly. I don't
podcast.
wasn't. I think I
You
don't think
didn't
I was
even-
listening to.
I said latch hook. We did.
that gives me
Chernobyl.
anxiety. Okay. All right. Let's. I want to ask one more question, and then we'll do our. Did we decide what we want to do for our closing segment?
Yes.
Okay. So let's do one more question. The question is this: 3 words to describe your personality.
Driven.
Okay, that's a good one.
I
I confirm.
guess that's good.
Yeah.
Creative
Mm-hmm. Also confirm.
and can I have the disc paper in front of me?
And
And
I.
influential. Is that a personality trait?
Maybe I
Yeah.
don't know.
I feel like, yeah. I feel like influential and driven are very similar
Yeah.
terms.
Yeah,
Probably, maybe. I don't
Related
know.
at least.
Sure.
sure,
Are you going
So
with influential?
is that your final answer?
Final answer?
sure.
Influential.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I reflect a lot on my personality, but I don't know that I don't know. It's not often that I talk about myself, so
So
haven't really
humble.
thought
Okay,
about
so
that.
driven,
Creative.
I would
creative
like
and
to
humble.
think that
All right,
I'm
there you go.
humble. Yes.
More humble than anyone else.
No.
Oh, okay.
That was a very humble
Good
thing
job,
to say.
you passed. Way to go. All right, let's do that closing segment. What are we doing? Tell me.
Okay, we're going to do a 1-minute question and answer.
Rapid fire. Is it
Rapid
gonna be-
fire.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Should I'm gonna
60
set like an
seconds.
actual
Okay,
timer
a
here.
real timer.
And no one's
60
gonna know
seconds.
if we're actually sticking to the timer, but take my word for it.
Colin gave me this fantastic list of questions.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
no idea where he got it because half of them do not make sense. But
From the internet.
okay.
You have to read them exactly
get-
as they are.
exactly as they
Get
are. Do I
everything.
have to read them exactly in order?
No.
Because
No,
we'll never
of
get
course
to all
not.
of them.
Of course not.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
60
say
seconds.
go and start the 60-second timer. You ready?
Ready.
Go.
What's your favorite thing in your closet right now?
My boots.
Okay. What's your favorite movie ever?
Oh, Annie, the original.
Okay. Good one. What's your biggest pet peeve?
When people do not follow through with something.
Yikes.
Check your heart. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark with nuts.
Wow. If you could be from any other decade or era, what would it be?
Oh, totally the 50s.
Okay. Wait, what's 50s again? I forgot.
Like poodle
right.
skirts.
Gotcha.
And
40.
The Grease? We're at 40 what?
Right after 40.
Oh.
Continue.
This is my favorite one on here. If you weren't in the magazine industry, what would you be doing?
So, actually, New Life Kids was in the Kidman magazine at one point. So I can kind
Whoa.
of say that I am in the magazine
Okay.
ish.
Thanks for
Um,
these,
Keep telling
Colin.
yourself that.
I would probably be a kids director.
Good. What is on your playlist right now?
So Hillsong Awakening, like old school Awakening, is on repeat. And then
Is that an album or a song?
no, that's a song.
Okay.
But that whole album is really good. And then a lot of Lecrae, Andy Mineo.
Great. We went way over 1 minute.
We did?
So, yeah, I
Oh.
wasn't paying attention, but we got 9 questions answered.
How
so that
how
was
much
good.
way over is way over?
Well, I stopped it at 1 minute 11 seconds, but then I told you probably like 15 seconds after that.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
math.
Well,
20
just-
was that 20?
Okay.
35 seconds?
yeah.
Something like that?
I wouldn't call 35 seconds way over, but
I was a math major in
But that's
college.
fine.
I
Did
mean,
you know
that's 50% more. Hey, Carly, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And also thank you for tuning in to Meet the Leader. We are always so glad to see you show up. We don't see you show up, but if you haven't yet, we want to let you know that you can subscribe, as always, to the podcast to make sure you get those. And also, we would love to hear from you who you'd like to see us have on the podcast in the future. So if you have someone a leader at TNLC that you're like, I really want to hear from this person, make sure to let us know. You can email podcast@trinitynewlife.com and let us know.
And as always, you can also follow us on the Instagrams at Trinity New Life, and so you don't miss any updates, and you get all of the info that you need right to your cellular device.
Everything
Everything you need.
Carly,
It's right there.
thanks again for being on. We had a great time, and we will see you next time on the Meet the Leader podcast. Bye, guys.